it might be useless.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So where I left it was there were the nascent crystals, the little tiny crystal buds forming the protective barrier, and this thing was outside of it. And I remember it was big and it was dark, and it kind of laughed at me and told me that I can't get rid of it. I had this kind of a sense. But it also seemed like it was messing with me. That if I had felt that I had the time to work with it instead of being on a 7-minute journey, that something different might have happened. But it ended with it kind of a chuckle laugh, not a ha ha ha, you jerk laugh, but rather a that's the way I wanted you to feel.
Yeah.
Sort of laugh. So, and I have not, since I knew we had this meeting today, I've not gone back and tried to, work with it or do anything with it. Hi, Angelique.
Hi, am I too late? Am I late?
No, literally 30 seconds. We have only been here 30 seconds before you showed up, and I was just recapping where we had left it yesterday.
Okay.
So did you catch that? Do you need me to repeat anything?
No, I got it yesterday and I get it now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she was just kind of, because and so my sense was similar, wanting us to leave it, you to leave it, because it was only a 7-minute journey, but no, we couldn't leave it. That was my sense. So
it can't be left.
So what I thought is that, what about the possibility of us just doing like a soul integration dialogue, but you let the voice speak through you. So I'll ask the questions and then you like we did for the pit.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Angelique that, whatever she gets, note it down. If you feel like you have to step in and say, what about this, Angelique, feel free to do that.
Okay.
So that's the tack I think we're going to take. And I don't think there's any reason for waiting longer than 2, because I put the invitation out because the group was there and I wanted to include them if they wanted to be here. So I know that's something that they felt they had time to, for whatever reason, which is just fine. Have a drink.
Cheers.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Setting space, we're gathering here, the sacred ground of sovereignty. Claimed, declared, formed, and energized through many years of our work, both independently and together in group. We are here in whatever upgraded protection, guidance, secure channels are needed at this time, and we acknowledge that we are in the time of the December solstice, a powerful December solstice. And so the energies to support us in alignment to that energy into Laniakea, we also call forth. We are cocooned ourselves, our homes, our land, every one of those to whom we're connected in love, cocooned in the powerful field of the sixfold cocoon. What we do is directly impactful into our galactic teams, our spiritual teams, impacting and blessing those we love, including our families, in ways that lift them rather than harm them. We stand together, a powerful triad, most powerful number for female work. And we claim that to be here with us also. We're rooted within Gaia, partnering with her that what we do in behalf of the human family, we do for all in the web of life, including her family. The sun, field that is there and beyond. So we are here, prepared, ready, valuing those who work with us in good. And so it is. So as we come together with an intention at this time, it is to hear and have conversation with the energy field collective that made itself known to Arlie yesterday. Using that as the touch point into a configuration even beyond that field. So I'm just going to have each of us just relax, let the field open, and let the voice of that which said, "You have no power here," present itself. And when it is here, allow it to speak through Arlie, letting us know that it is here.
I am here, but I don't know how you called me.
Well, that's a puzzlement. But is there a name you'd like us to call you?
You may call me Vast.
Vast. Absolutely. And Vast, where do you exist within? I'm assuming it's beyond Arlie, so it's not in Arlie's field only. But where do you exist within that energy field that we call breath or space or life? Where do you exist?
I can be where I wish. I prefer around Earth. I can be close to the planet. I can be above the planet. I can be everywhere.
And do you have a role to play or a designated job to do in that presence and movement of your presence?
I am here to pleasure myself. I am here to watch. And I eat. I thrive on emotion, anger, hurt. I poke. I prod. If something is what you would call good, I myself can make it dark. I like that.
So you can identify, I'll just say, vibrations that I would call good, and you have the ability to change their frequency to be dark or bad. Is that correct?
It's laughably easy.
Mhm. Is it something you've learned and so it has become easy?
I was created to do this. It's my job.
Got it. Are you a collective or are you a single point of being?
I am one. I am vast.
does that mean that you could expand to be vast, or you can constrict to be one focus, but they're both you, like breathing in, breathing out?
Yes, I have that power. I can do that.
Mhm. That's part of the design that from which you were created.
Yes. It makes it easier to hide.
I got it. Do you know when the design that created that from which you emerged?
Oh,
Do you-
way back at the beginning. This is first
Okay.
world.
Yeah, first world of those whose agenda is to dominate, first world, correct?
Oh, yes.
Mhm. Do you find that you presently have or have had, because we were looking at 64 dimensions of our life field and 35 dimensions of of the outsiders. But in that 64 dimensions, of which there are 7 galactic worlds, have you ever been active in any of the galactic worlds before Earth? Or did your design occur with Earth experience, therefore Earth body, emotions, and all of that came around when Earth was instigated?
I was there, but I was not activated with this job
Got it.
until Earth, which is where I was assigned.
I got that. So you didn't create the design. You were given this job to do within this design, and the design, I would think, includes many other types of actions, you being one. Would that be correct?
That feels right, but I seem to be alone here. I don't see others.
Mhm. Probably because the others' jobs don't duplicate your job. You're focused on your job, and it has, and your job has nothing to do with even needing to interact with those of other assignments. Your responsibility, I would think, is directly to the ones who created the design. Your connection is to the creators of the design. Would that be correct?
Yes.
That's why you don't have those awarenesses or interactions in what I assume is a much, much larger network of what you, vast, are doing your assigned job. And vast, what you may not know yet, and yet we are here to tell you, because Angelique, Arlie, and I have come from what is future of when the design was created. And what we know is that all of your family are being taken back to their home, because food here, energy here, you are going to be cut off from it. If you stayed here, you would die. That's happening. No one has told you that, but I'm telling you that is what's happening. So we are here. That's why we found you. That's why we found you. So that we could basically say to you, the job you were given and what you have not been told yet, that job is no longer allowed in this field. It is no longer allowed in any of Laniakea's field. The experience that you have had through the job you were given is ended.
This
What-
has to be a lie.
Well,
You're lying.
no, I'm afraid not. Now, if you'll just be really quiet, I'm going to bring in representatives of Laniakea, of the Galactic Council Collective, and the team that's most impactful in working with those connected to Earth, the PTO. And you will see that they are of authority here. And I am speaking with and for them and in behalf of you, but in behalf of the life field you have invaded. And you will see that they are telling you the same thing, that you now are contained. They will hold you and bring in all the tentacles so that everything that is yours, everything that you've created, all the experiences you have generated, including the consequence of harm, is being brought back into the field of vast. And we're freeze framing the situation because as they work with you, and you can ask them questions, I am going to go to the design hierarchy from which your assignment came. We'll be back to check in with you. PTO, activate the deep six of this in vast group, bringing in the tentacles, consequences, the harms, the injuries, etc. And we put that off to the side into that field of interim, say, interim. Breathe. I'm going to ask the energies that are here with us from the divine, the beams of light that can light the channel way to the design collective, that at the point of power designed the network that this vast has been a part of. And that is the group we want to speak to, a touch point within that group. And when that touch point is there, you just want to hear through Arlie, I am here.
I am here, and you have vast, but you are being kind to vast. Vast is contained in a circle of light, but you are being kind. It is not so bright that it is hurtful. Why? Why are you showing kindness?
We are who we are. We are who we are. In our divine families, all are committed to aspects of good, but we are also strongly, strongly committed to no vibration of control, discounting, manipulation, violence, etc. That is not who we are. But we do not move. Kindness is strong. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does, but power is stronger. Anger is stronger. Violence is stronger. But you have vast trapped.
Authority is the answer. We have authority here. We no longer are under your deceit, crippling lies, your twist to an agenda of control, domination, power over, violence is a twist. It's an experience you and several other families chose to see what that experience was like. And it is detrimental to those who come into its field. And it is no longer allowed anywhere in Laniakea. So where, first of all, is there a name that you'd like me to call you?
You can best understand if I use the name dark,
Okay.
black, fathomless.
Are you part of the collective that designed the network? I'm sure it's a network of which VAST is a part.
Yes, vast is a part of us.
Yes. How many families groups are there in the design hierarchy at the top? Because I'm assuming you are one of the points of power at the top of the design. Is that correct?
Yes, there are 3 of us.
And at what point did the 3 of you come together with the idea of creating such a network? Where did that occur?
We used to be in a place of great choice. Everything spread before us. Other choices were being made by others. We felt we didn't want to go where they had been. We wanted to try something different. And it's like we chose, but like we got leftovers. And we were happy with that because of strong emotions that we could see, touch, taste in the beginning when choices could be made.
To clarify, in that place where choices were being made and others were making lots of different choices, were their choices all to experience aspects of the frequencies that would be balanced and harmonious, what I would call good, different
Yes,
aspects. And
yes,
yes,
yes, they were there and we were here, and others were making those choices and we could see them. It was very confusing and fast. And we wanted something of our own.
mhm.
And what we took, we made it the best we could.
So as others were making their choices, various aspects of good to experience some of those various rays of the all that is wholeness. And your leftovers, you speak of leftovers. Did the leftovers come from those before you who had chosen to twist the energy that would allow emotions of anger, pain, rage? Was that already chosen and you saw those leftover energies And so you've used the leftover energies to your advantage. Or were you part of the group that made the choice to twist the energies from which the leftovers would spill?
It was like this. Picture a field of stones and crystals and beautiful things, and some things that aren't so beautiful, some obsidian among the crystals. And choices are being made to pick up this or to pick up that. And the choices, the stones are disappearing rapidly. And we took what we could, what was within reach, so we wouldn't be left out, so we would have no choices. It was there for the choosing back in the beginning. And then when it was ours, we made it more ours.
So in making those leftovers, like heavy emotions or undesirable emotions, making them yours, that's what you begin to have as your food, as your fuel, as your reason. And then I would think that the design you created was to help generate, continue the generation of those heavy emotions to continue feeding yourself, fueling yourself.
Yes. We took what we had and we made the best of it that we could, and we made it powerful and we made it strong, and we made it so that it made a difference where we were and gave us food.
Got it.
And we were happy with that.
And so VAST is part of the network to help bring benefit to your family.
Yes.
And
We are about us.
Of course. And what you had felt left with is the need to feed on the heavy emotions. And so generating heavy emotions to you and your family was the way to go because your family needed to survive. Is that correct?
We need to survive, and it made us happy. It's power, and we can do what we want, and it tastes good, and it's what we are and who we are, our identity. It's all of us together. The glue that binds us so we are not alone. How can I explain this?
I think I understand.
Okay.
But what we're here to tell you is that back at that beginning place where you were, for whatever reason, feeling that there was going to be a lack, you were already in a system that had been crippled. Because in your original home, there was never lack, never. No matter how many people chose crystal A, there was never a lack for crystal A. There could have been your crystal A. So so this design and this family was already, for whatever reason, in a energy environment of lies in which you had been told there was a lack, and if you didn't grab something, you were going to die. And we're here to tell you that that was a lie. It became normal. You built from it. But that crippled home environment is no longer even allowed. That environment that says there is a lack, that says you have to take leftovers, is not allowed and is being dissolved as we speak. And
There
so,
was such fear
yes, absolutely.
that we wouldn't live if we didn't take what we could reach.
Yes. And there was a group who created that, and you And that was the lie you bought into, not knowing it was a lie. We are here to tell you that was a lie. And we are here to bring to you the truth from the Galactic Council Collective, from the Laniakea representatives of that greater place, of the PTOs who are here, and they're there now. They are containing your space. They will help you identify and bring in this intense creative system, culture to allow your family to survive, but it is false. It can't survive in that falseness, but it can and will be removed back to home source above the lie, where there is absolute choice, unlimited. And they'll take you there. Vast is their part of your network. So PTO, this entire configuration is you are there to help bring it in, bring in all the aspects, the entire family. They're very connected with one another, I'm hearing. They're very much there for one another. And they are ready. We are ready to have them move with great care, but with great intensity back to their truth. Is there anything else you have to say or questions you might have? Dark and black.
There's a trust, a feeling of trust and a feeling of knowingness, as though vast and fathomless kind of knew this somewhere, but did not vast. Vast didn't know anything, but the rest kind of suspected that they were being played, but didn't know. There's a feeling of peace.
Great.
And it comes mostly from the kindness shown to vast. There was the wish that the bubble that vast was being held in, which I can describe, but I don't see any reason to, be what surrounded everyone when they went off. And these energies, for as dark as they were, cared about each other.
I hear that.
And they're often gone.
Great.
I mean, they're still moving.
And what we want to say to the PTO Galactic and Laniakea is they are a surrogate. There may be others, similar systems like that throughout the entire energy field, as vast as they need to look, that are in a very similar situation. They have lived in a lie, but they've done what they have had to do to survive. And whatever work is to be done is being done for this group. This group is a surrogate for maybe millions of others. We want it continued for all who were in similar situations. So Arlie, one more we need to go to. We need to go to the lie. The ones who created the lie that trapped us, that trapped dark black.
Give me just a second here.
You tell me when you're ready.
Okay.
These are the underlings. These were the underlings.
Yep. These are the underlings. But boy, that was big.
Yeah.
Let's try another drink.
Yeah, and just refreshing our field. Next level layer. Because this team we're working, the teams we're working with, they know.
Okay, let's go.
So I want to speak to the collective that created the first crippled agenda that took the wave of home, all possibles of good, and twisted it originally. When there is a spokesperson for that collective, let it say through you, please, Arlie, I am here.
I hear laughter. Okay. I am here.
And is there a name you'd like me to call you?
Great.
And great, how many family collectives are there with you in who made the original agenda or agendas to flip the vibrations of home to one of entrapping energies? How many family groups are there with you in that decision?
There are 4 now. One was kicked out.
Who kicked one out?
The 4 of us.
And where did that one go? Do you know?
I don't know. We said they can't be part of us, but they were here. They were part of the count.
And why was
Weak. They were weak.
so the 4 that are remaining, you consider yourselves quite strong?
Yes. We are strong.
Hence great. Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. So what is your agenda? I would imagine your agenda, we're speaking original, so we're speaking very powerfully laid down, thought out, and anchored in. What is that agenda in your words?
We are here to oppose, to cause confusion, to cause strife, to cause harm, violence. When people talk of the dark goddesses and the gods of war, they are talking of aspects of us in their little understanding, their tiny understandings.
I don't know if anyone's ever asked you this before, but back at the beginning, and there was the vast possibilities, but all the possibilities were balance and wholeness, aspects of good, beauty, light. I mean, it was vast. It was vast. What was it that drew you 5 and now 4 together to not choose experiencing that? What was it, if you remember, that caused you to choose the twist?
we were joined together. We
Mhm.
could experience vicariously what they had and also do this new thing. We could have more experience, be bigger, have more, do more, and get vicarious benefit from them.
Mhm.
But then that isn't exactly how it turned out, but it's fine because we got it all.
Mhm.
That was how it was supposed to be.
And in order, I'm going to ask this, I think it's correct, but you can tell me if I'm understanding wrong. So in order to take that energy, unlimited energy, harmonies and frequencies, etc., to have a twist so that the possibility of various forms of control, domination, etc., you created and designed a plan and then a formula, like a numerical formula, like we would say like a chip that was inserted into that flow that gave you the option of vicariously, you had thought, vicariously experiencing that balance that you were familiar with vicariously. But this chip was within these 5 and then 4 groups, gave you the options to weave with, play with vibrations that allowed forms of domination. Is that correct?
In a way, we were separate, the two worlds, this one, to make it easy, say light, and this one, us. And we could know what they were doing.
Okay.
And then, in order to fully experience, at first we just knew and had an understanding, but it wasn't interesting and exciting enough. And so it was a little later that we had to manipulate and interfere to get them to jump and move and react and be interesting.
Mm-hmm. 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 So I'm assuming,
Yes, the chip is a good way to think about it.
because something had to be there to allow or cause the vibrations of control, domination, violence, voyeurism, etc., to be used. Something had to be inserted for those kinds of harmonics to be used. And because your agenda wanted to be more interesting, and these experiences was what you thought would make it more interesting and probably have found it more interesting. Yes, there had to be some kind of like a chip or program or formula that twisted or added that kind of possibility, because
Yes, possibility.
Mhm. Before that there was not the possibility.
They had to make different choices
Mhm.
to be interesting.
Mhm. So as far as you are aware, how many groups like your 5, now 4, made that kind of decision for whatever reason at that very, very beginning place, at what we'll call your first world? How many groups are there in the beginning level, the very high top level of beginning? You're one of them. Do you know how many other groups there are? Not under you.
There was one other group, but I haven't seen them in a while. I don't feel them anymore, but there were 2. There
Mhm.
might still be 2.
Mhm. Got it. Yeah. Got it. Well, the reason I'm here, great, to with Arlie and with Angelique, is to let you know, if you haven't heard, but you may have, that the Galactic Council Collective and Laniakea Collective has made your agenda not allowed. The agenda itself cannot be chosen. Yeah, it is being ended, and it cannot be chosen again in this landscape we call Laniakea, that we call galactic, that we call Milky Way, that we call Earth, any name that you give it in this vast energy field. Your agenda is ending. And because it's ending, we are here to make sure you are gathering up all that you've created, all of the forms, the devices, the plans, the network, all of the consequences of this experience are also yours. So harm done, damage done is yours, because this is your experience. It's what you wanted. And now we are having it gathered up so that you can take it back to a point of evaluation, so you can see what it was all about. You can really go through it. You can, but it cannot be lived. It cannot be expanded. It cannot maintain. Do you understand?
What will happen to those we were influencing? Don't they lose parts?
No. All of the parts that you kidnapped away, we have been, over the last year or more, we have been taking them back to their home. We are separating out the energies of those whose agendas were aspects of, we'll say, good. All of that we've been working with to contain, remove, bring back, so that they're separated from yours. What is left is only yours, only your families, the creations of your families, the designs of your families. The harm is yours too. But it gives you exactly what you had wanted. You wanted to know what it was like. You wanted to see the interesting. You wanted to see, what that would do, and you wanted to have that direct experience. And so it's all yours now. Back to you at an evaluation space out of anyone else's, any other family groups, until
You
you.
sound like you think that's a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing at all. It's what you wanted. It's just the end of your experiment. It's yours. It's what we all come to, an end of our experiment. But you haven't come to the end of. No one has gotten to the place where they could say with authority not just from Earth, but from the galaxy and from the Laniakea landscape. No one has been able to say to your group yet, this is the end, it's yours. So no, it's not a bad thing for you. It's yours.
Yeah, it feels like they're going to a place of intellectual dissection, like professors getting together to look at the documentation and study it and all of this, even though there's a part of me, Arlie, that feels like there should be a punishment component or something. It's not. It's a straight intellectual exercise. Yep, we did that, and here's the results. When we anesthetized the monkey and implanted these things in its brain or whatever, these are the results. Scientists.
Level 1 may very well be that, Arlie. But remember, they're taking the consequences that they've never felt before, they're taking with them. So if they
So-
if they hadn't, if the energy of harm, the energy of pain, the result of is another layer, and that's theirs too. That's for them to have as part of their experience. They're not leaving it in our field.
Right.
So their evaluation may begin, like you say, professor is doing a head job, but no, they're taking the whole thing. And if they still need to have the experience, all the forms will be theirs, and they will experience it in their family until they have had enough. It's no longer.
Oh, yeah, I see that now. It's kind of like a Pandora's box. The expectation is that they have this contained lab.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we've all seen the movie Andromeda Strain and some of those others where the undesirable gets loose, and that would be theirs, but not in a tasty way.
Right. It's like, yeah, they are taking it all. So that in our families, the healing work, the release work, can be even more impactful, because we're asking that pain energies, the crippling energies, be taken with the outsiders, so that the field of our galactic families can come into alignment more quickly. Memories dissolve more effortlessly, because it's where it belongs. The consequences are where it belongs. It's with the one who created it, right? And again, this is a surrogate for at least the other family collective, and if there is other family collectives at World One that extended to with this type of agenda. This is same application, same teams are to be done on that group, on those groups too. So what are each of you sensing, Angelique and Arlie? Is there something we need to address, see where are you in for feedback?
Yeah, I have something keeps on popping in my mind, in my spirit, that somehow in some way it might have been that just in this moment in time, just in this exact moment in time, that these energies come to you, Arlie, to manifest in order to be supported, to go where they belong. Just, yeah, almost asking for support, almost asking for help, because they couldn't do it alone.
Yeah, I have the definite feeling that this was so much easier than it could have been. And I don't know if it's because of Sharon's power or because the entity was ready to go. But that last one that was kicked out was wandering around in space there.
Yeah.
And I sent him to the light. He belonged on the other side. That is not where.
Well, there was just all the time this question, what I should love to ask, sort of where, did you have the feeling that you were lost to this energy? Were you lost? Why are you keep on?
I felt very protected. And I was aware that it could have happened, that I could have been enmeshed, but I was also.
Not that you were lost, the energy. This energy, if this energy, as if it couldn't find its way home, something like that.
One that was kicked out, the one that was kicked out, you mean?
Yes, that one.
The one that was kicked out needed help. Okay, to make it really simple, the way that I saw it, because human brain, here's the line. And here's where vast and all this darkness was. And here's the side of light. This little fifth group got kicked out over here and is like trembling in the darkness and space and vulnerable and didn't belong there and didn't have a family, a place to be or anything else, because it was separated off from the agenda of the four others. And it needed a boop to get it over on this side.
Mhm.
That's where it belonged. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel strongly that's where it belonged, because it had made the choice to not be part of it. So it's been hanging around there for millennia,
Yeah.
I think.
And also let's assume that that is a surrogate for maybe others on that
Okay.
side, the PTO galactic group, any others that were too weak got kicked out, but haven't known how to go home. And Angelique, I find it very often that these entities who chose dark agendas or dominating agendas have been showing up to say we're ready, but we don't know how. A
Yeah.
lot. That has been really, really common in the last year or two. So they were, I mean, yeah, there was not that with either group, the tenacity at all that says you're not moving up.
Yeah, there was, I mean, there was only a couple of the word that came to me first, and it's a good word. The weak dick responses to what I thought, or what I would have thought should have been a major fight. It was just totally weak dick. Oh, I feel like I should say, no, I'm not going, but not worth the effort of saying, because it wasn't so, and everyone knew it wasn't so. Sharon, I'm wondering if we couldn't, you know how you built the hitchhiker's shield, where if people come and they energies come and they touch this shield that's a mile or two out from the person, that means that they are ready to go back. Is there some way that we could build a sphere, a wall, a chain link fence, a thing, so that these dark entities, forces, energies, choices could go and touch them, and we don't have to be there to intervene and lead them?
That's the guardian shield. What's
Okay,
inside
so they
our
just
own,
have to come and, okay.
yeah, and the guardian shield is there so that as you, because we knew as you, will say you guys start becoming more light and stronger, you would attract negative energy. Well, just saying the negative outsiders, you would attract them, because they're what they have done in the past is, as it is, come co-op the project, destroy the project, hook on the project. We knew that would happen. So the guardian shield is there to make sure that any dark energies that are coming toward us are captured and removed, captured, removed. What we have not thought about, though, is that we already came in with energies within our space. So they're within the cocoon. So that's what we're, a lot of us we've had to really work to get out what is already here. But the guardian shield is that. And if we wanted to put the guardian shield, an adjustment would be maybe if we felt we're ready to move the guardian shield out further. It's been fairly close, because and I think because we're getting them out, and now more and more, it's not that we are getting them out, because we get them if they come, sure, easy, but maybe we want to move it out further to do that work.
I don't think I ever knew that the guardianship circle, I always thought of it as a protection here to keep stuff out. I didn't realize it was you touch it and you're gone.
Well, yeah, coming toward you, you don't have to touch it. Yeah, because that's that I call it like a greenhouse around new things, so that any coming toward you any outsiders coming toward you, grab them, take them away.
You know, somehow there's a part of me which really thinks, which really feels that part of these dark energies, maybe vast or dark, are also mislead and have not from their origin, not the intention to mislead us. Does it make sense what I say?
No, I don't quite understand. So their original.
Well, I think, of course, these are outsider energies, of course, but in a certain way, it feels for me that way, way, way back, there must have been part of them which were not malicious.
Well,
and
they all come.
that's what I feel, you know, and therefore,
Source.
therefore, I also feel in myself the intention to support them to go home, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
This is,
that's why we should be kind.
Yeah.
They came their original home, wherever that was, and I don't know if it's all one home and we're all from that same source, is all good. It's all huge, all aspects of good. I mean, that's what it is. And that's where they came from. That's why I said to the head honcho, I said, you know, this was all available. The only way they could work with outsider energy or dominating energy is to intentionally set an agenda to twist the energy or have a formula that makes possible. And that's what makes them an outsider. That makes them an outsider. And that's why love does not correct it. White light does not correct it. Violet flame does not correct it, because it's their choice. They chose. And so
yes,
back, you know, taking them back to that, ending it, here's the evaluation space, and it cannot be, those kind of agendas cannot even be chosen again. This is the end of it, period. In the entire Laniakea, you see. And so when they get when they complete whatever they complete from the experience, they go back to home good. That's where they go back. But it's a choice. So
Yeah,
and before the choice, I mean, just before that choice, couldn't it have been like, yeah, how can I explain this? This is so difficult to put in words. Couldn't it have been like, there was an we are not talking about time, because for me it doesn't, it has nothing to do with time, but wasn't it like that? Couldn't it have been like, there has happened something, because why they should have made these wrong choices? Couldn't it have been different before that?
Well, you know, when I was talking to Rage, that's what I said to him. Why did you make the choice to twist energy? And he said, because we wanted something more interesting. It wasn't interesting enough to us. We wanted something that would be a little more challenging, a little bit more interesting. And so that's why they wanted the possibility of control, of violence, all of that. What would that be like? They wanted that choice. They wanted to see that.
What I then feel is like, my first question, what I should have loved to put to Dark, for instance, what made you do this? I mean, not that you did it, but why? I mean, wasn't there something that you should have felt lost or something? and to put something, it's so difficult to explain what I mean, but
I think we're with you, Angelique. I think we're with you. Yeah,
Yeah, it seems to me that you're putting a value on good over dark as far as experiential worth. So if you had your typical judgment scales, and you have these two experiences and they both weigh the same to the dark side.
yes, but
This
it's
one or
all,
that one. Well, this one looks a little more interesting. I like chocolate rather than vanilla.
yeah, but it's a choice.
Yes, it
These
was a choice.
are choices,
that's right.
but
Yeah.
in my experience, there is always something before the choice.
Well, let me see this. We had two
I'm
levels.
gonna let my cat in. I'll be
We
back.
had Fast, who was just given an assignment, but we had Dark, and what they were experiencing, he said, we were experiencing a world in which all of the good stuff was being grabbed really quickly, and we had to grab something. So they were already in a fear-based culture, and so they grabbed what he termed the leftovers and made do with the leftovers. So they were already in a crippled system that says there's not enough for everybody. You better get what you can get. So he was their family was in a crippled system of there's only so much and everything else, all the good stuff is going. And so we're going to grab the leftovers. That was his why. That was his family's why.
I understand.
And
Yeah,
then, but then great, that group, their why was boredom. Their why was boredom. They were tired of just doing good stuff. And they wanted something more interesting. And it wasn't like, like they just wanted interesting stuff, and they thought it would be interesting to stir up the pot with violence and conflict and etc., thinking they could also taste good, but they soon lost the taste for good. And as what I was getting from him, they didn't realize they would lose the taste for good and become so enamored with power over. They didn't know that would happen, and it did. So again, consequences. But I think that was boredom and the option they could choose, and they twisted the frequencies. And down at the next level that we saw with dark black was they were already crippled and being told and bought the lie that there wasn't enough and they better grab something. You see? So,
it's like, yeah, like an addiction.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. 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 So
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Dismantling that, I think is perfect thing to do for solstice, taking back the space today, the space we own all the space. We not only own earth, our homes, our land, our families, we own all space, and expanding into teams that are supporting that. A further dismantling, I think. I mean, I know. Anything else before we close?
Well, to me, it just feels like tomorrow when we have this winter solstice ceremony.
Yeah.
This could really be something to put out into the universe and to really ask for support and guidance from the ancient ones.
Exactly.
And even then, I can. This is my shortcoming for me. It feels like a shortcoming that I cannot put it into words, even not in my own language. It's energy. It's just energy, and I see it happening, but I can't put it into words. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah, I do. And maybe words are not necessary. Maybe for you, you could say, ask the field what it needs from you. Here's the field showing up. Maybe it needs color from you. Maybe it needs dance from you. You know what I mean? And maybe words isn't what it needs from you.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I can put it into the flowers,
Absolutely.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I
I
mean,
don't have, I mean, I don't have flowers much.
yeah.
Yeah, putting it
Yeah.
into the flowers just had such a hit of rightness for you, Angelique, when you said those
Yeah.
words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it works that way for me, you know. This some things you cannot even understand. It's not, you really can't.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And yet you get that piece. So I don't have to. Arlie gets her piece. So we don't have to. And so, you know, even though we may not understand exactly, we understand that
I-
there is a puzzle pieces coming together. So
Yeah. And you know what? I love to share this. When I got my crystal where I work with,
yeah.
this is the one, you know,
Oh yeah.
and the chip fell off. It,
Baby. Is
it
that the
just
baby?
it just fell off just now
Wow.
in during this session. So I guess it's meant to be that I put it in the despacho tomorrow and give it to the earth. Yeah. So
It carries all the vibrations it needs for that.
Mhm.
Wow.
yeah, I work with this crystal for I think 2 decades or something more, and it has never ever been
Never.
broken.
Wow.
Never. Yeah. So that's the meaning for
It is.
something.
Well,
Well,
thank you, love. Thank you, loves. I knew we needed to do this, and we were the ones called. So thank you very much. Thank you both.
Thank you, Sharon, for the teaching, the lesson, and making the world such a better place.
How we're
And
doing.
Angelique
Yeah.
for being
both
beautiful.
of thank you so much.
Bye,
Thank
loves.
you for sharing. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Blessings tomorrow, love.
Thank
Mhm.
you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.